Ladies and gentlemen, thank you as always for tuning into the channel. Today we have a very exciting episode. We do have some breaking news out of Crypto.com. So if you are a user of Crypto.com, of any of their products, or you're just an advocate for the CRO token, the CRO coin, I should say, then you're definitely going to want to pay attention in this video. It shouldn't be too long of a video, but I do want to get this information out to you guys because it is breaking and it is very important. Now, if you guys aren't aware, about 2 weeks ago, Crypto.com out of nowhere started to get a lot of FUD about their exchange, their platform, their products, pretty much all in regards to them not actually having their users' funds backed up, and that they were going to be freezing withdrawals and deposits. Now, of course, this was complete nonsense. None of it was true. And it was quite questionable why all this FUD was just coming out of nowhere. Even big content creators that I'm friends with were pumping out this FUD that Crypto.com was illiquid. They didn't have their users' funds backed up. They weren't storing users' funds properly. They were using users' funds for other things. Pretty much everything that happened with FTX. This happened to a handful of exchanges, but it seemed like Crypto.com was definitely getting the most scrutiny out of nowhere. Even Binance wasn't getting as much scrutiny, which I found very interesting. But aside from that, Crypto.com did diffuse the situation. They showed as soon as they possibly could the holdings of users' funds on their platform, proof of reserves. Now, this was just showing what they were currently holding, and they said that later on in the month, through further research through a third-party organization, that they would definitively show that every single user on the platform has their funds backed up 1-to-1, and that there is no concern of Crypto.com not having everyone's money. So say, for example, tomorrow everyone wanted to withdraw their funds from the platform, they could do so, and Crypto.com would technically not be affected, because Crypto.com doesn't make money by users holding their funds on the platform. They make money through trading fees and that sort of stuff, using their actual products on their mobile application and the exchange. Now, what is this breaking news I'm talking about? Well, today, like we said 2 weeks ago, Crypto.com announced that they were going to release a proof of reserves audit, again, by a third party, so there is no secrecy behind the scenes, and we got those results today. So they gave us a list of about 8 or 10 of their top cryptocurrency holdings on the platform, just in a screenshot on Twitter. But I will explain shortly how you can go and check your account specifically to show that they are actually holding your funds on their platform. So they did reveal that they currently hold 102% BTC to their reserve ratio. So this is their in-scope asset to their reserve ratio. BTC is 102%, Ethereum is 101%, USDC 102%, USDT 106%, XRP 101%, Doge 101%, SHIB 102%, Link 101%, and Mana 102%. Those are the top assets they currently have on the platform, and those are just the assets they showed on Twitter. But if you go further into the link, I will leave it down below so you guys can check it out. You can actually see your existing account through this link that they have. To verify that Crypto.com actually has your assets backed 1-to-1, and you can see all of that in extensive detail through your addresses and that sort of stuff. So this is a big step forward in my opinion, for Crypto.com to bring clarity to the space. Unfortunately, this FTX thing is still ongoing. It's going to be ongoing for a while, but in the long run, it's going to be best that it happened for all exchanges, because this is truly bringing more transparency to exchanges, so we don't have something like this happening again in the future. Decentralization has really shown its stronghold in not just the crypto space, but the world in general. I mean, decentralization truly is everything nowadays, and more people will eventually realize this, whether it's through financial hardship or whether it's through easier means, not having to deal with losing their funds and stuff like that. Another thing to note is that Crypto.com also does plan to show all of their liabilities as well. So pretty much they just showed everyone their assets. They showed that they do have all of their reserves backed one-to-one to users' assets, but they're also going to show their liabilities, showing how many expenses they have, whether that's Crypto.com Arena, or paying their UFC sponsorships or the F1 sponsorships, paying their staff members, all of that sort of stuff. So it's definitely important for any exchange to show liabilities, because any crypto company in general could have liabilities out the wazoo comparative to their actual revenue and their profits. So that will be coming very, very soon as well. Chris, the CEO, just said that's going to take much longer because there's many moving parts when it comes to that. But when they do collect all that information, we can expect that to be announced as well. And from my understanding, they will be, I believe, the second exchange. I think Kraken already released their liabilities, so they will be the second exchange to show proof of liabilities. And the Kraken CEO actually had a really good point. He said on Twitter that all of these proof of reserve audits are essentially useless without proof of liabilities as well, showing that all of these exchanges are still afloat and they're not drastically in debt or underwater. So that's something to note when you're maybe looking at exchanges to use. I mean, if there's any exchange out there that hasn't even put out a proof of reserves audit yet, you're best off not using them, because they would have done their damage control, even if this whole FTX thing didn't affect them, and put out a proof of reserve audit if they had nothing to hide. So if any exchange is not doing that, it's a red flag. It's a big red flag. So I would seriously only consider using exchanges right now that are putting out proof of reserve audits, and then also consider only using exchanges that are also showing their liabilities, because that will show true transparency with everything going on behind the scenes, and that's the least we deserve when we're trusting these exchanges with our cold hard cash, our life savings for some of us. So yeah, let me know down below what you guys think about this news. I think this is a big step forward for the CRO fam and Crypto.com as a whole when it comes to transparency. One last thing I did want to note is that Crypto.com is actually doing their first ever land sale. They have, I believe it's called Main City. I'll probably do another video on this topic in the near future, because it's going live shortly, but I wanted to bring it up to you guys because I actually think this has some serious potential to make big moves. But yeah, Crypto.com is creating essentially their own Metaverse, and they are officially going to be selling their land starting on December 13th, so only 4 days from now. That will be the private land sale, so private. That will be for anyone that currently holds a Loaded Lion NFT. Luckily, I have one, so I will be able to participate the 13th. Same with anyone that has a Loaded Lion, and each deed of land will be going for $60. And then after the 13th, on December 15th, will be early access. That will be anyone holding a certain types of NFTs through Crypto.com NFT. I don't know the exact list of NFTs that are eligible, so you might have to look further into that. And then lastly, we will also have, that will only be for an hour actually, and it will be $80 for a plot of a deed to land. And then the public sale will be starting 1 hour after the early access, and it will be the same price, $79 for a deed of land. Why I'm not really huge into the metaverse stuff, but I genuinely think this could be a serious opportunity for anyone that believes in Crypto.com in the long term. I mean, I truly still believe Crypto.com has a legitimate chance at taking that #1 spot as an exchange in the future in the space. They're really not far off when it comes, especially with their marketing. They're definitely the best marketers in the crypto industry, in my opinion. So being able to have access to some of this land early on, especially in a bear market, I'm not saying necessarily, you might get a massive return on this, in the next week or so, especially with the current market sentiment. But, talking 1-2 years from now, when things really do turn around and people are actually paying attention to NFTs in the metaverse again, if you did buy up some of this land and have a big plot, it really could be a big opportunity. So I personally will be participating in this land sale. So you could probably expect another video on this topic in the near future. I'll show you guys all the land I got, what type of land I got, all that sort of stuff. But if you do have interest in this land sale for Crypto.com land, be sure to check it out as well. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, I will catch you in the next.